Hello. Today we are going to be learn a Microsoft .NET framework, and this session is completely for beginners who want to learn .NET and they want to build their career in .NET programming. So today I'm going to explain the three basic questions. The first question is what is .NET? The second, why use .NET? And the third, what is origin of .NET technologies? So let's start with the first one. The first one is what is .NET? So .NET basically we can explain in a simple terminology. A .NET is a collection of Microsoft product, and as we know, the product Microsoft having lots of product like C Sharp, ADO.NET, VB.NET, ASP.NET, J Sharp. They have a multiple languages. They have provide multiple new features introduced. So they want to build a such kind of a platform or technology that provide a such kind of environment where they build and include all the technology in the single platform. That's why the Microsoft will think and they will introduce a .NET technology. So that .NET particularly terms technology is intended to connect. What to connect? The whole things that can be linked through the software, people, structures, computer, extra anything. So that .NET is actually means the connectivity process. So connect to anything in terms of language we can connect, in terms of tools or connectivity applications we can connect. So overall that is about the .NET. The second questions we raised in the mind that why we use .NET, what are the advantages, what are the features, how easily we can understand the .NET. So that questions comes why we prefer to choose .NET, why not the other languages or other technologies. So these are the few points. Because of that points we need to choose .NET technologies. The first point is a platform independent. Why we are saying the platform independent? So the .NET framework initially introduced in 2022, and in 2002, that .NET is not a open source technology. So if you use .NET, if you build something using .NET framework, you should have to pay. This is not free, but they will provide a terminology platform independent, basically for a Windows operating system platform, that is a OS. And in the market there are lots of OS available, but the .NET framework is only support Windows. We can use a third party tool to configure the .NET framework in other operating system as well, but by default if any OS having that .NET feature is a Windows only. So in the Windows perspective they will provide you a terminology that platform independent kind of a feature. It's terms of technology, not in the terms of language. So that keep in the mind. The second is a multi-language support. So multi-language, as we know that the .NET having a .NET is supporting multiple languages like C Sharp, Visual Basic, C++. So they're having option of multiple language, and they introduced .NET basically for that reason, because the Microsoft having a multiple languages and they want to build a such kind of a platform, that platform have a capability to support a multiple languages. So that kind of a features available for you now. You don't want to install, don't want to require any individual software for different languages. Previously, before the .NET, we have a C++ language, C languages, we have a VB languages, and for all those languages, we need a separate software, separate component to install on your operating system. Then you will be able to develop that applications, to build that application or compile that application. But now, if you have a .NET technologies, if you have a .NET framework, you have a feasibility to choose those languages which is supported by .NET, and you can build your applications and deploy and run your application in the Windows platform. So that kind of a multi-language support you have right now in the .NET framework. The second and the third point is related to the multiple application support. As we know, nowadays we are developing a different kind of applications like CUI, that is a character user interface, where we run the applications in the form of command prompt. We will get input and output. uh, the second kind of applications where we develop a desktop applications, a Windows form based applications, where some kind of a software or tool we can develop, and that install on your particular system, and then on the system you can use that software for your uses. The third is a kind of a website or web applications, where user can interact and access that applications from anywhere through the internet. So that kind of applications you have. The next one is related to the mobiles app. That app you can build. This is also a kind of applications where we can able to build using .NET framework. So this is the type of applications. Multiple options are there. So you are feasible to develop any kind of applications you want as per your requirement. So this is the third point. The fourth point is user friendly. As we know that the Windows will provide you a feature of feasibility to understand and learn the .NET framework very friendly manner. They will provide a feature or a tool, a very user friendly, very basic steps, very basic details. So efficiently you can use a graphical representation of things. This way you can understand the application, understand the language, understand the tool very easily. That's why we mentioned that that is a user friendly technology. Very easily anybody can understand and learn. The next point is easy to develop and deploy. So that .NET technology, if you have in your operating system, then very efficiently you can develop as well as you can deploy. So the editor they will provide you, that editor has full power to develop and deploy the things very easily. There is no any other kind of tools required to install. So all the things are available in a single place. So that kind of features are there. That's why we can say easy to develop and deploy. The next point is easy to learn. As obvious, the .NET has a user-friendly environment, easy to develop and deploy the things, multi-languages support, multi-application support, platform independent in terms of Windows. So that's why this is the reason we can easy to learn. Easily we can understand the things. Efficiently we can learn or develop the applications. So that kind of features or tools, components they will provide in the editor, and using that component or tools or controls, you can efficiently develop your applications. So that's why we can mention easy to learn. The next point, reduce line of code. So line of code reducing in terms of functionality they will provide in terms of libraries. So they will provide you a lots of inbuilt libraries. That library will help you to develop applications. Suppose if you want to build a form based application or GUI based application, I can say. So in as compared to the other languages, if you build a button, suppose for example, in a desktop, in a GUI based applications, create a button, a graphics button. So if in other languages they have, you have to write lots of code to create a single button with all features and colors, background colors or text. But in a .NET, there is a one drag and drop features are there. So the control is already there. You have just drag to your that control on the form. Your button is created without writing a single line of code. You will able to create the button. So that kind of environment is provided by the .NET framework or editors by the Microsoft. So that's why we can say this will reduce your line of code, and it is very visible code you can write, only the meaningful code that is required for your project, for your applications. That's why I mentioned that the reduced line of code. The third, the next point is provide a better security of applications. Nowadays, the security is a big concern. So the .NET framework will provide a better security as well. They will efficiently provide a lots of libraries. Using that libraries, they will you can protect, you can write a code to protect your application security, anything. So that kind of these are the reasons. For that reason, we will choose .NET. Correct. Now we can understand the evolution of technology. Evolution technology. Why we explain you that evolution of technology? Because Microsoft is uh, not only work on .NET technology and not only provide .NET technologies. They worked on different technologies. So before .NET technology, they introduce OLE technologies, COM technologies. These are the technologies which is the origin, where we have a different kind of a mechanism to develop or build the applications. For example, before .NET technology, Microsoft having a language, a popular language, I can say, a Visual Basic, by which they will develop a desktop applications, a form-based or GUI application using VB languages. This is the PowerPoint, and that PowerPoint is a result of VB languages. So that kind of a software we develop. So for that particular software, we need a certain feature, a feature like linking, a feature like embedding the things, a feature like some kind of a third party uh, components we need to be there in the software, so that efficiently we will open the files. Like suppose we want to open the PDF files. So Microsoft doesn't have any kind of a technology to read the PDF, because that PDF is a completely a third party component which is provided by Adobe. So those kind of a things we need to use in our applications. How we can use that? So they will introduce and they will work that technology that is called OLE. OLE is a object linking and embedding. For instance, if I can explain you the object link and embedding. So take an example of a Windows doc, where we have create a one document using MS Word, or creating one PPT. For example, as an example, you can take this is a PPT. If you want to display some image, add some image. So what will be the process to add the image? So there is a simple process you have to go to find out the options where where you will be adding the image by using this option. And once that image is added, you simply save it, and now that image is completely embedded with that document. So now if you copy that PPT and open in a different operating system where that image is not exist, but still that image will be available. How it can be possible? Because of that embedding and linking technique. So this is how that object linking and embedding techniques works. So that kind of features if that MS Office having because of these technologies. Now we are talking about the COM technologies. As we already told you that the COM technology completely dedicated to those technology which is a third party components which we want to include, which we want to use in our .NET in our application, not .NET, in our applications. So suppose in a application, or we want to develop such applications where we want to display some I can say some software to open a PDF file. or PPT file or Word file in our application, or Excel file, I can say, or image file. So these are the different kind of extension files. Some of them is a part of the Microsoft has owned that particular technologies, but some of files are not uh, owned by Microsoft. It's a third party technologies. They will provide you some kind of a tools, a technique, then you will introduce, and then you will use that particular techniques. So how that third party component we will use in our applications? So by using that technique, component object model technique, we will able to use that third party components. That's why we will, and that's why the Microsoft uh, introduced that technique, so that we can use the third party component. And then after, in the time to time, then as we know that uh, the language will be improved. Initially we have a C languages, which is not object oriented. Now we have a improvement languages, C++, C#, Java. Those are the languages which are the object oriented programming languages. Now still we are using a third party component, still we are using the technologies, because that third party component, every time we need it. If you want to display some kind of a flash images, flash animations, so that animation, we are saying ActiveX controls. So that ActiveX control, if you want to display on a GUI applications, we can't do that by the Microsoft. We need a third party component, we need a third party libraries, so by which we can develop a third party component libraries. Those component we called as a component. So time to time, the object-oriented programming is introduced. We will introduce a COM plus distributed COM and ActiveS control, so that efficiently we can use that uh, COM technologies, any kind of object-oriented supported language as well. So this is actually the three questions that we have. That is, what is .NET, why we use .NET, and what is the origin of that technologies before the .NET. So yeah, thank you for watching. We will meet the, I will provide you the next video regarding the other feature and component of .NET technology. Thank you.